So yesterday, Bitcoin target that we set was $64,000 to $65,000. Price came exactly into that level, as you can see over there. And we're now starting to get a little bit of a bounce. So the question is the crypto shakeout actually over, and exactly what happens next? What are we going to be looking for the next move? Is this, in fact, the major high low that we're looking for? We'll go through this in today's show and a whole lot more. Make sure you smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and subscribe to the channel. And let's get straight into the show content because there's a lot to look at, a lot of the altcoins as well that we previously outlined. We need to have a quick look at those, see where they're at, did they hit the key levels. Let's get into it. So looking at the banter bubbles over here on the hourly, well, GOAT again, one of the top performers over there, pushing towards the upside as one of these AI meme coin narratives. Remember, we did a whole write-up on that with the 𝗲𝗓𝗓 newsletter. There's a link below if you want that. And Popcat as well, pushing towards the upside. I looked at my portfolio today. Popcat becoming one of the biggest meme coins in my portfolio, not because of the position size that I originally created, but because of the gains, right? Now it's making one of the biggest position sizes that I have just because of those mass profits. So it just shows the importance of a winner-takes-all mentality, right? You have to look to bet big on the top performing assets and coins because those tend to continue to perform. One that I missed out on, unfortunately, is 𝗎, but also putting in massive gains there on 𝗎. Look at that chart over there, straight towards the upside. So let's get into here's your total cryptocurrency market cap. This is what we spoke about yesterday. We spoke about the possibility of it coming down to that $2.2 trillion level. And if we zoom in, well, you can see that pretty much hit to the T over there. Look at that, 2.192 trillion, close enough, slightly wicking through our target. We said anyway within the pink box over here is most likely going to create your order block, which is going to lead to continuation high. Now, there might still be a little bit of chop over here, right? You got your wick low over there, price is pushed up over here. You might do something like this. Maybe over the weekend you come down a little bit further, and then you slowly increase over into the next week. We'll look at the monthly returns and what to expect for Bitcoin as well in the month of November and see how we are tracking for October, right? So there it is. Total cryptocurrency market cap is very important to look at, especially now because we broke this down sloping trend line, and this is the order block, right? The reason it's important to look at is because this helps us to understand, remember the analogy of a rising tide lifts all ships, right? All the different altcoins are the ships, and the tide is going to be the total cryptocurrency market cap, which makes your life a lot easier as opposed to playing that rotational game, right? The narratives that shift from one narrative to the next narrative, where you're constantly trying to time what is the next big altcoin going to be, right? Ultimately, if you can gauge the momentum of the total cryptocurrency market cap, it makes it a lot easier, and it's more forgiving. If you're betting on the wrong coin, it's probably still going to go up anyway. And if you're betting on the right coin, it's going to go up massively when total cryptocurrency market cap moves towards the upside. So we saw some important signs yesterday. You can see the 24-hour long to short ratio is at 49.25 and 50.75, meaning that, there's still more people in the market right now that are running shorts than longs. And we had a notable shift and change over here, the 24-hour liquidation levels or recness, right? 272 million. That generally we're looking for anywhere between 250 and 400 as a possible major turning point within the market. Usually that signals mass liquidations, and typically the way the market makers work is they grab that liquidity, they shake the players out, and then you actually put out the real move, which is why it's important to look at the levels, right? As per this chart over here, we said that 64 to 65k. As you come into that zone, you see the 250 to 400 million dollars worth of liquidations in those key level areas, and then that shows you that's probably your next major pivot point, your higher low, and now you can put your invalidation underneath that candle. And the same thing over here on the total cryptocurrency market cap. So there it is, your upside liquidity now building at just shy of 30 million if price can push into that 68k level. And then the question remains, if you get into 68k, do you hold that level? Well, for sustained momentum and continuation of a healthy move, we do need to see the 7-day moving average for the volume increase, right? And right now you're putting in possibly a higher low over here, but we need to see sustainability like we saw in March over here. That's where we saw that massive move in March for Bitcoin, which essentially took price, all the way up to $74,000. And the DXY is not helping Bitcoin's case, right? You can see the dollar index has had an absolutely enormous move. And this has been one of the predominant reasons why Bitcoin has struggled to rally in this particular environment. But I have marked out the next major key level that you're going to be focused on, right? You've pushed through the gray box territory over here, which is a major resistance area. Now, you need to have sustained closes above here. And if you did get sustained closes above here, that would be very bad for Bitcoin. In that case, we would have to start invalidating on the majority of our longs if you saw something like this, acceptance gained above the gray box and continuation upwards. But I think it's less likely. I think the more likely case is that maybe you push up a little bit further into the 0.786 level, which is coming in at 104.84 for the DXY. And then you're looking for some form of distribution. So originally we had one of our main levels in the gray box over here. And we marked that out as a key zone based on this order block over here. Of course, price has pushed through there. You even back tested into that order block as support, and it's continuing up. So it's level to level, right? Now we've marked out the next level over here, 0.786. If you can see distribution from that point and you can come down into the course of next year, that's where you see your massive bull run. As you can see, if it follows some sort of a trajectory like this, you'd be looking at anywhere into the middle of next year. So somewhere between Q2 and Q3 for the breakdown over there. And simultaneously, we're keeping an eye out on this because simultaneously, if that happens, you should see the USDT dominance break down. USDT dominance breaking down would be very good for crypto to rally. Yesterday, we also spoke about the M2 money supply increasing, and we spoke about the catch-up trade, which would be Bitcoin catching up to gold and the S&P 500, which is broken out of its massive cup and handle formation. And we spoke about China as well, which is going to be pumping liquidity into the market. And you can see yesterday's candle now, or histogram, came in with a massive uptick over there. That's the People's Bank of China. So you did get that liquidity injection. But very similar to this chart over here, we really do need to see sustainability, right? Like we saw in 2021, we need to see that sustainable bidding or increase in liquidity from the major central banks, People's Bank of China, and then the major central banks below over here. And that should be very healthy for crypto with the breakdown of the DXY. So also looking at the monthly returns, where we're at right now, currently October is still up at 6.22%. You can see on average, October is typically very big. November's even bigger on average. On average, October does 21.51% and November does 46.81%. So it's not over, right? It's not over. October is not over yet, right? There's still opportunity over here with 1 week to go. A lot can happen in the crypto markets in 1 week. We've seen crazier things before. Nevertheless, the point is the analysis leading up to October, when we're sitting around that July, August, we're looking for a seasonal low. And that's exactly what we got, right? As per the norm. And then we look for continuation into September. And then we look for a bigger October. So far, the analysis has still been correct. We just haven't had the absolute firework October that we typically see. But as mentioned, October is not done yet, right? There is still about a week left to go. So we'll keep an eye on that. And if this does turn into a full-bodied green candle close over here with no wick, right, just straight towards the upside, and you push above the $71,600 level, that's going to line up an absolutely monumental November. Then you're going to expect that it will follow along as per the usual, where November is typically on average double what you would see the returns being in October, right? So especially when you isolate this to post-halving cycles, where you look at the Bitcoin halving and you take that October and November as the October and November following the halving that just occurred, then you expect a higher hit rate when it comes to looking at something like that. So yesterday also, the part of the way that we got those key levels that we looked at, remember, we lined up a few things. We said, don't be surprised. This is literally my exact words yesterday. Do not be surprised if you see Bitcoin come down 50% of the way through this candle over here, for price to only push up and close as a wick like this, or even higher up with a green candle. That's still on the realm of possibility, thus confirming a massive shakeout within the market. And you can see we got it, right? We came perfectly. We've back tested this. This is very, very good. The fact that we came into the orange line over here, which if you go back, this was a key point for the prior tops within the cycle. Now, if you're coming back and you're back testing that as support, this is a very, very healthy sign, right? Again, going on to that monthly time scale, it takes time to flip such a massive area of prior resistance into support. And so far, that is 100% exactly what we're doing. Do not be confused by what's happening over here. Zoom out, right? When in doubt, zoom out. You can see all of these candles that are forming over here. This is a very, very high time frame deviation and flipping into support, right? Which sets you up for a massive move, which is soon to be coming, right? So don't be shaken out. Don't be discouraged with any of the pullbacks that are occurring over here. Everything still looks pretty healthy. The posturing of the moving averages is still very, very good over there. And here's our levels, right? This is what we're looking at. You've still closed. Again, you can't, or at least bears can't get a daily candle close under the previous month's high. And that's actually a sign of strength, right? They did push price down temporarily. It came exactly into the zones that we outlined over here between $64,000 and $65,000, held up above that level. And now you're looking for this to be a major high low and continuation onwards and upwards, right? So that is your daily time frame analysis. If bulls can get above 67,740 again, or increase the likelihood that that was the shakeout period, your high low, and you'll get continuation, because that will start to trend your RSI again back towards the upside, and it should be looking good. So there it is. Again, just another perspective on the 4-hour time frame. We spoke about these levels. This was the first level of interest on yesterday's show. I told you if you start to get closing candles underneath there, well, then you need to look towards the next line of support, which was coming into this pink box, and that's what we got, right? So anywhere between on the 4-hour time frame, the 0.382 and the 0.5, and you can see the wick came perfectly into that area. Now, of course, if you do start to reject from here, because anything is possible, you may come and revisit 50% of this wick, at which point a back test into 66K is possible. If you take out that wick low, just keep in mind you still have your 200 EMA, which is going to be tracking along over here as major support. So we'll watch this very, very closely. I'm more inclined to believe that we should reclaim 67,740 over the coming days, and we'll probably finish October in the next week or so very, very strong, right? So we'll get into the altcoin mix as well in a moment, because you can see over here there's a lot to look at when it comes to both BTC and the ETH BTC chart. Bitcoin dominance pushing towards the upside over here, really stretching for that 60% level. Now, we said between 60 and about 62% is where we're looking for a major high. Really, really important, because if we go and look at the ETH BTC chart, we're getting increasingly closer towards hitting this level, right? You can see over there, if we zoom in, what a painful trade. What a painful trade for anybody that is an ETH maxi. I can only imagine what you must be going through. But this is the level to watch, right? We've got all eyes on this region over here. We said, don't be surprised if you see this come down into the 0.0364 level. And that could be the true ETH capitulation. So we'll see. Remember, we don't have too much to work off other than this pivot level, which is taken from the wick that came into there, the wick that came into there. And now we're just looking for possibly one more wick into that zone. And this was the huge order block in the yellow zone, which I guess we could probably delete, because we've pushed right through that level, which is, of course, not good for the ETH bulls, right? So again, looking for reactions over here, looking for potential top. It's not over till it's over. We need to get confirmation of that, right? So I will let you know when there's confirmation. Should you get that confirmation, you can expect that that's where the altcoins will start to perform. And we said this could take place over the course of the rest of this year, which means if you're looking to reaccumulate or accumulate into altcoins between now and January is probably going to be a really, really good time, especially if you come with a calm, measured approach where you simply just dollar cost averaging in. Now, for those of you out there, if you are looking for a place to do that, Blowfin is one place that you can do that, because they do offer this non-KYC exchange, no personal information required, just an email address, and that's it. And then also, if you hit the volume requirements for trading, you can win all of these prizes, right? This, I'm bringing it up because it's ending very, very, very soon. I think it ends now at the end of October. You can get AirPods, Nintendo Switch, iPhone 15 Pro Max, the MacBook Pro M3 chip. You can get the Apple Vision Pros. And then if you hit the highest volume, this is a guarantee, right? You'll get the Rolex. Not only that, but also, guys, if you go into the description, that enters you simultaneously. If you use Blowfin, it's one of the required exchanges to get into the Winner Bitcoin competition. So use the links below: ByBit, Blowfin, BitGet, CoinW. And then once you've signed up over there, go through to Banter Bubbles, go through to Winner Bitcoin. Put in your guess. What do you think Bitcoin's price will be by the 1st of January? I know most of you have already done this competition. You've already entered. I've been seeing your requests come in. But keep in mind, you can enter every single week, right? As long as you have those exchanges, it resets every week. You can put in another guess, which gives you massive, massive odds of winning, right? The closest guess will win half a Bitcoin. If you took 10 trades on that exchange, they'll double it, meaning you get the full Bitcoin, which means if Bitcoin does come to these targets of $92,000 to $92,500, you'll be winning $92,500, right? Which is a full Bitcoin. Unbelievable prize over there. And I think every single person should try and participate. Now, let's get into the altcoins, right? We can see that a lot of them came into the key levels that we had outlined over here. So that was ETH came into the $2,500 zone. It came actually even lower yesterday. You went down to $2,449. Previously, I was targeting on average into this fair value gap. I'm going to delete that because we've hit it, but we're looking for a move into the fair value gap over here. You got the move, you wicked actually straight through it. You can see there's probably a lot of ETH stop losses below over here, which got very, very close to being triggered. Some of them may have been raising it ever so slightly. So a little bit of a liquidation event over there. And now you're looking for, as per the lot lines over here, a little bit of a bounce out of this region, maybe a secondary test for the high low, and then leaning into the end of the year, you should have continuation from that point onward. So that is ETH. Some of the other ones that we had marked out and looked at, I'll probably need to, to bring up the Discord over here. So let's quickly have a look at that. Let's just put that back in. Let's have a look at the Discord. These were all the charts that we were previously looking at. I posted them ahead of time to give you all the various different buy levels. I think that most of these would have been hit. So you can see that was ETH. We're looking for it to move into that zone. Let's have a look at the next one. The next one was we said anywhere around 39 cents. So let's go through the list. Let's see how the analysis played out. Anywhere around 39 cents. This one hasn't even come that low yet. Actually seemed to have held up over there. Let's look at the next one. We have FET, and then we'll go to Render. So FET was really pushing the low boundary over there. Render also pushing the low boundary. Those ones may have fallen through. So let's find those over there quickly. Where is it over here? Let's go to, there it is, FET. Held up, right? So that was the area of interest, looking for an entry into that zone over there. Now you want to see this move ASAP, right? You do not want to see FET hang around this low region. If it does, there's a possibility it's going to break down and come all the way down to 1.05. Let's have a look at Render. Render also holding up, right? That is the trade, right? Essentially, entry over here, invalidation below. If you want the rest of them, they are going to be there. Remember, they are in the Discord already for those of you. Let's take some chart requests. Let's go into some of the coins that you guys are looking at. I'm going to quickly scroll through, drop them in the comment section over there, and I'll make sure to start to pull some of those up. So Tau, let's have a look at Tau. Tau, you're still holding up over there. It's kind of in no man's land for me personally, similar to what I mentioned before. I'm already in Tau. I have a position over here. So if I were to add more, I'd only be adding more if it came down towards the yellow line at 460. All right, let's have a look at Drift. That's one of the requests. So Drift, drop your requests, guys. I'll make sure to bring as many up as I possibly can. Okay, we haven't looked at this chart for quite some time, so it's a little bit sloppy. Not that much price history over here. Let's just maybe redraw some of the key levels. I would focus more on this as the predominant trading range. We'll make that nice and big for you. There we go. Over there, that's going to be your range lows. You can see prior resistance, flips it into support, comes back in over here as support. And then I would expect that you're probably going to form some sort of a new range high at the top side over here, which is going to be 71 cents. So, with these types of coins, not much price history. If you're looking for exposure and you have a thesis that it's going to do really well within the cycle for some reason, all you need to do is literally dollar cost average in. Maybe we can find some sort of a fit over here, with the parallels. Let's just see how this lines up. Let's extend this further. Do we have a pivot level over there? I guess maybe maybe clutching on straws, but you could probably view it something like that. So let's just expand that a little bit. There we go. So you're looking at something like that. So possible resistance as you approach those highs over there. That's what you're going to be viewing. Okay, Brett. Yeah, Brett is one of the requests over there. Let's go to Brett. Meme coins. Where's our meme coins over here? All right, there we have it. Okay, Brett started to look a little bit scary yesterday, creating new swing lows. You definitely don't want to see that. I would have preferred to see price hold up above this 10-cent region, but you would imagine that it's probably going to do what Bitcoin does. These are essentially very highly leveraged bets on Bitcoin. So if Brett does start to move from here, and we can also put in a parallel channel over there, let's just see how this lines up. There is a possibility, it comes all the way back down to the bottom side over here. But if Bitcoin moves, Brett's probably going to move quicker. Okay, Aptos. How did Aptos hold up given yesterday's recent drop? Okay, Aptos. Let's go to Aptos over there. All right, Aptos still holding up, right? So we did mark out a big fair value gap over here. So it shows its resilience and strength yesterday, the fact that it didn't come into the zone over here and doesn't have to come all the way down, just a little bit of a wick down into even the 950 would have been fair game for holding up and at least grabbing the liquidity from that fair value gap. As you can see, it didn't even get there. Price is defending this region. It's holding the pink box over here, and that's your prior range high, right? So that is for Aptos. Inverse head and shoulders, broke price up, held above there. You're flipping what was the measured move target, and you're flipping that into support now, defending that region, which opens up the possibility of trading up to 13, right? So if you were looking for longs, dollar cost averaging into the pink box over here between 860 and current price is fine. Stop loss would, of course, go below 780, right? 780 over there. All right, DYDX. Yeah, we can have a look at DYDXs. I don't know how the DEX things have been doing. Let's go over here. We can actually scroll through very quickly. Let's just see. Okay, Apex, this is probably mass distribution, lack of liquidity. We had an absolute behemoth trade on this over the course of December last year. I was initially just targeting to the top of the range over here, and I didn't have a hard stop. So we pretty much traded it all the way to the top. I think when we started to see the distribution based on this move over here, that's where we started to exit. That was absolutely insane. That gave a risk to reward ratio of literally 100 to 1. Probably in terms of a leverage trade, it was maybe one of the biggest trades that I've ever had. But let's clean that up over here. This looks like it's distributing. You are going to probably come all the way down and fill some of this inefficiency within this expansive candle between 32 and 86. But that wasn't your question. You were asking about DYDX. Look, I haven't brought these up for a while, which you can see. That's why I need to extend these lines. The lines are still relevant. The supports are still relevant over here. There is a lack of interest for some reason right now in the DEXs. But, if you can flip this pink zone into support, possible deviation, expect that this will take time, right? These reaccumulations will take time. You're probably going to chop around something like that. And then maybe only sometime in 2025 will you see a move up towards the mid-range and then the range high. All right. Banana Gun. Yeah, let's have a look at Banana Gun. Banana was one of the coins that previously was doing well. So we did have it on our list. Let's have a look over here. How is Banana doing? Okay, still doing okay, right? It's breaking this trend line, which means if you confirm the deviation, which you have, right? You deviated the top line, you came back down, you back tested it as resistance over there. Then you broke this trend line over here. It means your target is down here, right? Expect that Banana Gun is most likely going to revert all the way back down to $43.50. And then I would say that's probably going to be where you put in your next major high low, you find support. So if you missed out on this as a trade, you're looking for something like that. And then you should see prices trend higher. And then the measured move still remains the same, right? Because it's respect for the big horizontal, and the breakout of that horizontal, whenever it comes, will take you to $92.85. So I have a small position in my portfolio for Banana Gun. I would say I'm estimating it's probably about like 0.25 to 0.5%. I'll maybe push that up to about 1% if we do come into the zone over here. Okay, Nia. Yeah, let's go to Nia. So all the way at the top over here, how's Nia doing? There it is. Okay, very, very, very close again to hitting that golden pocket, narrowly missing it. You can see that wick over there. I view this all as a reaccumulation zone, so we can just kind of move that up. You're expecting continued chop around here, This is the zone reaccumulating, turning a new area into support, and then eventually you'll look for continuation up, right, towards 648. Okay, Myro. Yeah, we can go to Myro. Myro USDT. All right, let's see. Okay, Myro is still holding up. I mean, if you took the trade as per this, you would have essentially been stopped out. But high time frame stuff, you're still looking at this as a major high low. I'm holding spot over here, so I'm still in the trade. And you're looking at the breakout of the falling wedge formation, which came perfectly into key support. So much higher targets still intended over here. You're looking at 1653 as the first area of interest, and then your next major resistance is coming in at 28. So this is still a massive trade. This is just to give you a little bit perspective as a risk to reward. Even if you were to enter over here and you're taking a spot trade, to the first target, you still have a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And to the next target, it puts it at a 9-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which is a very favorable odds and ratio when it comes to your trading and what you're looking at. So really decent over there. Let's look at Bonk. Previously one of the top performing meme coins, Bonk on Solana. Let's have a look. There it is. All right. So still holding up over here, no problems over there. You can see flipping this region into support. This was the previous neckline that we wanted to break out of. So I think you're looking for, again, let's just clean some of this up over here. Let's see, this was the low time frame trade that we took previously. Let's clean this up over here so it's not too messy. What else do we have? Okay, so a high time frame, I'd be viewing this. You got your lows, you broke out of the wedge over there. You got your high low, you pushed up a little bit higher, pretty much within this region over here. You're looking for support and then continuation. So especially if Bitcoin holds up, especially if Bitcoin has a strong November, expect continuation. Targets is going to be towards these levels over here. A lot of numbers, so I'm not going to read them all out. You can look on the screen on the right-hand side, 3, 2, 4, 5, 7, 5, right? And then after that, you're looking to the top side over here, which is like 411,000 is going to be the target. All right, quickly looking at Giga, still strong. Let's look at Fog, still strong, right? Remember, we started to accumulate at the bottom of the range over here. This seems to be one that has the potential for extreme price moves and parabolic advancement. So I'm happy to have this in my portfolio as one of the blue chips for the long term. It's one of the newer ones that we've added. Let's double check on PopCat, given the recent move and the health of the PopCat portfolio. Straight to new all-time highs, right? This is an aggressive trend line, which means eventually when it breaks, you are going to get a massive move towards the downside. But, as long as you establish your positions when we did, which was all the way down over here on this candle, you're strong, right? You're strong. You're in a big, powerful position over here. We're already up, it's almost 4x returns on this, which is great considering Bitcoin hasn't done much in 7-8 months. Amazing moves over there. Okay, Casper. Yeah, let's go to Casper. How's Casper doing? So still holding up over here, taking a bit of time to reaccumulate. You're looking at the parallel channel over here, creating a macro high low, I guess. Remember, health and safety for Casper comes into play if it can get above 14 cents over there. That's the key zone. That's what you're looking at. Before we go into any more of the altcoin requests, guys, I do also want to remind you that if you haven't already done Whale School, even if you haven't, you want to learn new alpha because we're updating the course all the time, use the link in the description below because there's 6 days left, right? The spots are limited. It depends on how many people we can take based on what the software allows for, because sometimes the guys crash the site. So first come, first serve. The spots are limited. Use the link below. It's free, right? 100% free. You don't have to pay a cent. You do have to sign up to one of the exchanges, to prove that you're human. That's the only requirement. And then you should get full access to the whole course over there. So everything I teach and do within the shows is covered extensively in the course over there. Make sure you jump into Whale School. All right. Also, I wanted to look over here, Casper. We just looked at Casper, but Casper BTC ratio nearing the range low. So let's see if you can find a little bit of a reaction. You might come down one more time, but essentially looking for reaccumulation around the zone, confirming the deviation, and then you can trade it back towards the top side of the range over there. All right. Injective. Let's have a look at Injective. Okay, Injective. Still holding up, right? Putting in the high lows. You still need to break above the mid-range. This is where things will start to get going. If it can get above about around this $25 region, hold $25 as support, and then it will look good for a move up to 30, break above 30, and then the move really starts to get going, right? Then you can start to target all-time highs again on Injective. Okay, WIF. I also want to check out WIF. This is one that we're looking for a move down into some of the low regions that we had a target of, there we go, $2.20. No guarantee that you're going to get it, right? I'm going to continue to remain patient. I need a perfect entry. Otherwise, I'm just going to miss it and hold on to my other memes. But 220 is the area of interest. Let's see. Alternatively, if this starts to break above $2.85, then probably that was the low, and then you're going to continue up. Next targets then become 370, and then after that, you're looking at about 450 as the next target. All right. What else, guys? Drop them there. Beam. Yeah, we'll have a look at Beam. Okay, Beam USDT. Let's see. Okay, similar to the rest, right? Everything is just broken out of the falling wedge formations, coming into key support, high lows. From when it comes to this sector over here, Beam is one of the better looking ones out there. So I would say you want to continue to maintain support above 0.016. That's the important area of interest. If you got in, around these lows over here, you probably have a long-term swing trade that you can just continue to hold on. Expect something like this, and then eventually looking to break out in the new year, maybe above this 0.027, at which point all the altcoins are doing really, really well at that point in time. All right. Guys, again, remember, take advantage of this Winner Bitcoin competition. If you haven't already, the links are below. I think we're going to end it over there. Let's have a short show today. It's 30 minutes. I'll catch all of you on the next one. I'll see the rest of you on Whale Room later on today. All the charts have been dropped in Whale Room for those of you already in there. Go and see if the levels have been hit. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day, everyone, and cheers for now.